Brett Yormark is an expansion genius, guru, saint. Right now, athletic directors and conference commissioners more than ever have to be businessmen. This is per On3 and Eric Prispel. With House settlement looming, schools try to answer the $20 million question. In the House versus NCAA case, the NCAA could lose $20 billion or, at probably best, $2.7 billion. And as a result of this case, schools are going to have to dole out to student athletes $22 million. The revenue sharing aspect is going to be everyone looks around and says, oh, we have to give the kids money. And if we don't give them $22 million, which is the cap, basically your salary cap, if we don't do that, we're going to be seen as a school that is poor, a school that cannot facilitate student athletes the way that a program like Ohio State or Alabama could. If you want to be the top of college football, you're going to have to pay that $22 million price tag. Where does Brett Yormark come into this? It's the business aspect. In the changing world of college sports, you see Green Bay hired Doug Gottlieb as their basketball coach. And when the athletic director was prodded on, he said, guess what? There is a wild amount of change, especially in the mid-major game in college athletics right now. Why wouldn't I do this? Let's try something different because everything is moving toward different. And what you need more than anything in different is a businessman. Is someone who understands the industry. Per On3, that is certainly the highest priority of conversation right now. That priority being schools and conferences convening to discuss university-specific playbooks for financial viability in a new world order. Trev Alberts at Texas A&M, again per On3, announced cuts of more than 12 staff members. 12 staff members in a reorganization related to existing and emerging threats to their business model. At Missouri, the contract for the new AD includes a force provision related to potential changes in financial model for collegiate athletics. Iowa State, Iowa State. Jamie Pollard, the athletic director, as this On3 post continues, decided last week that, you know what, we can't really do anything from a facility standpoint as it sits because we might have to pay our athletes $20 million plus. That $20 million question has led to a stop in many Big 12 programs when it comes to building new facilities. Pollard, direct quote, with this lawsuit getting ready to be settled, you just can't go forward with projects like that, Pollard told reporters. College sports on the cusp of a revenue sharing model. He plans for a new wrestling facility and then had to stop that new wrestling facility. He continued the quote with, that's the same reason we didn't go forward with Hilton Coliseum. You just can't bond for them. There is a drastic change. There is a very specific change in college athletics. Jamie Pollard is at an understanding right now that whatever he is paying, whatever his current costs are at Iowa State are going to increase tenfold. That's not going to get cheaper before it gets drastically more expensive thanks to paying student athletes $22 million. And again, if you don't pay that $22 million, you're not seen as a top dog in college athletics. So Brett Yormark, in this scenario, becomes the king of college football as he is so business minded. This guy is not, somebody was quoted as saying 6 months ago or so that Brett Yormark's first love was college athletics and that he is college first and that he puts, kind of just like love of the game and almost the pomp and circumstance of what college football and college sports are. That's what matters to Brett Yormark. And I think that's the stupidest thing in the world. Brett Yormark is focused first on making this as business savvy as possible. What we know is like 3 years ago, the Big 12 lost Texas and Oklahoma. And you thought, okay, well, this is similar to where the ACC is now, except they have an incompetent commissioner. We look around the room and we see, okay, Texas and Oklahoma left. So we're not going to exist anymore. Bob Bowlesby somehow goes and grabs 4 schools in UCF, Houston, BYU, and Cincinnati and says, go, take off. And we'll talk about in tomorrow's show how those 4 might not have been the right choices from a financial aspect. Brett Yormark comes in and says, I have to be a businessman. I have to go get more schools from the Pac-12 and put this conference back together so that it can survive. This wasn't it would be so fun to see Utah play Kansas State. That would be exciting and exhilarating, and that would tickle my little college sports fans' funny bone. That's not what Yormark's saying. What it was is, Utah can make us as a league money. So I'm going to go get Utah. So can Colorado, Arizona, Arizona State. That's probably the reason at this point that Washington State and Oregon State have not been added, because money is now the name of the game to Yormark. And he's still got that pomp and circumstance side, right? Putting the Big 12 championship football game on the Jumbotron in Times Square in New York City. He did the Big 12 Mexico thing they talked about for a while, the BAPE Jazz and WWE stuff and the Big 12 title. Like that he's got the try to grow and be different side. But then the business side of, when does grow and be different not make financial sense? Well, Mexico being an example. Yormark comes out and says, you know what? Scrap it. We'll figure it out later. There's more pressing stuff to work on when the NCAA is in a lawsuit that's going to charge our member schools in the Big 12 $22 million a year. Some of this, not all of this, but a portion of this falls on the conference commissioner to help guide his league, his athletic directors and presidents into handling an era where things just got much more pricey. And Brett Yormark's the perfect guy to do that. He is business-minded first before he is college football-minded. And if it makes enough sense tomorrow to go out and grab a Washington State, he's going to do it. I'm shocked with recent numbers, how profitable basketball is, especially in the Big 12. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but I think the progression of this conference staying alive moving forward could lead into basketball and be okay. The ACC decided to do that and almost died because of it and will likely not exist with that being a certain factor. In fact, the Big 12 could pull it off. If done right, the Big 12 is the only conference that could pull it off. And Brett Yormark is the guy that I want there making those decisions. He is, in my opinion, not just the perfect commissioner for the Big 12, but financially the best commissioner in the country. He is the businessman. When we talk about how athletic directors are going to have to become more business savvy, when Missouri says they need a financially sound athletic director, when A&M's laying off people so they can hire people who are more money oriented, the Big 12 needs a money oriented commissioner. And that's Brett Yormark. Big. This has been, it always will be. Come back tomorrow. We meet with Jeff Fuller. Oh, yeah. I use that dude's research all the time. He's a pretty smart guy. Locked On. Thanks for making this your first listen every single day. Dose Grande. Today's show is brought to you by our good friends at Yahoo Finance. Look, I am 23 years old and have zero idea what I'm doing when it comes to finance, and I just recently learned what a Roth IRA is. Do you know what a Roth IRA is? I didn't until I had to figure it out because I'm an adult now. And Yahoo Finance has actually helped me not just figure that out, but also consolidate it. So you got an investment account with Schwab, a 401k with Fidelity. You use Yahoo Finance to consolidate them into one place. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or looking for the extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. Securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including the 401k and other investments. Comprehensive perspective in what sets apart great investors and how Yahoo Finance ensures you have insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. With a community of over 90 million users each month, their strength is helping you on your way to financial success. Your comprehensive financial news and analysis is at yahoofinance.com, the number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com.